Hello. I'm about to do some sanding down of one of the furniture pieces. A lot of the critical points is hard to get. That shellac, thinner in there, and the grooves are hard to get to. So the best way to get those grooves decent, clean those grooves in there. What I do is I use a brush. It's a Warner brush. It's an all-purpose brush that has a scraper at the end also. And what I do, I get some of that goof off, which is the goof offs here. I use that goof off and I'll spray the area that's critical down and let it sit for about 15 minutes average, okay? This will be set for 15-20 minutes. This is another one here. I would spray it down like so. Make sure you keep it shaken up. Let it sit for about 15 minutes. After that, you just actually make sure you're wearing good eye protection and some good gloves, some more pair of clothing in case something gets spilled on you. You have like a wire brush here and a hard plastic here. I'm gonna use that plastic first. This is how it's gonna look. Once you sit for 15 minutes, you start scrubbing, and that's how it comes off. Most of the time I use about 2 or 3 coats. I let it dry a little bit, and I take a rag and I just wipe it off. I use a wire brush sometimes. Scrape it on here, leave it so. Scrape it down real good. Get all the excess off that rib. My second coat, shake it up and I'll spray it down again. Nice and good. And that's it for about 15 minutes. You watch when I sprayed this a couple minutes ago. You see what happens after a few minutes. This is just a few minutes. I just sprayed on there. The same thing. It works pretty decent. So 15 minutes is a good average time to let it wait. Scrape it all through. The grooves. Finish that. Use my wire brush. Scrape it off my hard. I will clean it off. This also I'll let sit for about 15 minutes. Now I've already sprayed along here on this dress I have right here, and you can see the dress has been soaking a little more than 15 minutes. So I'm gonna use the black plastic brush first. See what happens. Wipe that off a little bit. I use my wire brush. Get into the grooves a little bit. This, if I would use the scrape a little bit in areas, nothing is finished already. I use the scraper, very critical point. A little bit comes off. This up to about 15 minutes. Also, you could use the a sander block, which is good for the grooves also. Brush it one time. Use my blower. Shake it up again. Touch the area that's a little hard to get off. Also let that sit for 15 minutes. That's how it's done. If you ever try to sand down an object, the dresser, or just wanted to draw the leg or something, a lot of time the sanding block or the sandpaper just won't get it done. You can try and try, and that sandpaper just won't get it done. You get tired, but I'll tell you what. Get your rotary tool. This right here I have is a Black & Decker 3-speed rotary tool. This is an RTS. It's very handy. It alleviates a lot of problems and saves you a whole lot of manpower. I've placed my sanding my sanding pad on here. I'm gonna turn it on. I'm gonna give it medium. I've got a medium speed, medium speed. Hold that in position right there, and I'll just sand it down. Rotate it, keep moving it all the time. Observe. sure you hold this lightly, like a feather. You want to hold it one place at one time, it'll burn it. And same too deep. So keep moving slowly, like so. That way, you don't damage the furniture. You go over and back and forth, up and down, left and right. Back and forth, up and down, left and right. Up and down, back and forth, like so. Up and down, back and forth. That's how he's done. What are you using there? Oh, I'm almost finished. Just finishing my last step of the glue off on the legs. I'm gonna scrub the legs, clean them off, let them dry, wipe them off. And that should be it for the legs. I'll put everything back together in about an hour or two. Then I'll do the fine tuning, fine sanding. But I'll tell you one thing, that rotary Black & Decker 3-speed rotary tool comes in good hands. It has a lot of attachments, and the attachments work really well. So it saves a lot of time instead of just sanding it down with your hand. Just a quick wipe on everything. Everything ready to put together. That's it. Once I finish putting it together, I'll show you how this looks. Finish up on that leg. See something here. Pretty much it. Probably spray it down on the outside. One time we did a goof off stuff. Try the leg. Wipe it down after 15-20 minutes. Now get this fine-tune area with my brushes. We'll be good to go. Good. That's it for about 15 minutes. I clean it off. About to make the final touch on that glue stuff I placed on here. So I'm gonna probably use my scraper first. Scrape down some critical points that I haven't touched yet. Trying to get it loosened up. Fine tuning it. Like I say, at least 2 or 3 times you want to spray it down. And take your time and just scrape whatever areas you need to. Just scraper, need to. Because it's attention to detail now. It's going to look a whole lot better at the end result. I'll just show you this area right here how to do it. That way when you do yours, it'll be simple. Take your time. Make sure you're wearing protective gloves. Take the eye gear. And we call it the PPE. Proper protective equipment. That's all it is. Now I'll take my wire brush. Now fine tune it. Get it all loosened up. Areas. I'm trying to get all that stain off of it. All stuff. I'm gonna get the paint or whatever. Just because I'm using stain, you can use it for paint or whatever. Scrape it down, then I'll use my wire brush, which is hard plastic wire brush. Like so. Touch it up. So. Good. Then I'll get my cloth. My cloth is a little damp. And I'll rub it down. And that side is finished. Now I'll do 1 or 2 more sandings on that side, and that'll be it for that.